everybody, to another episode of Half a Clue Review.
Movie
review.
Oscar special, bitches.
Exactly.
You're too excited
Oscar
about this.
animated.
I'm so
specials.
excited. I love animated films. It's part of my soul, my DNA.
Yeah, I really do love animated films, and this year we've had like a pretty broad version of
2021,
animated
right?
films. Yeah,
Yeah.
for 2021. Yeah,
Mhm.
we've had a long, a pretty wide array of different kinds of animation and stories, and it's really fun to see.
Like the
Lot better
ultimate
than
animated
2020.
movie, Sing 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which is trending as number 7 in the Oscar rankings.
And as such, we will not be talking about it.
yeah. Fuck
thankfully.
you, Sing 2.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Hey, it was pretty good. Did you watch it?
No, I did not actually watch it, but I will
Me
say from the
neither. I'm just fucking with you.
I will say from the trailers, though, again, just on an animation standpoint, I was like blown away by the use of lighting and color. Like it looked really good. I was like, wow, I still don't want to see it, but it looks like it should be visually.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Not too bad.
It
Yeah.
looks like it's going to be the second best animated picture that Eric Andre is in this year.
All right. So this is our Oscar 22 special where we're talking about the potential films. These are the films that almost honestly it's going to be 100% for sure. These are the 5 that will get nominated for the Oscar 22 Best Animated Feature this year. And with a heavy focus on Flea because that's the most recent one and the least talked about one. For all these other ones, we will still talk about it per requests of our other hosts. What's it called? And also because I do want to talk about it also.
Yeah, they're all fun movies.
Yeah, what's it called?
Well,
And,
most of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
all of them except for Flea. That's one that's not
Yeah.
fun.
And then and after that we'll give our own we'll give our personal rankings of the film Ron and I because we watched all 5. And then we'll also get into the 2022 Best Animated Feature speculation and we'll give our 5 we feel will get nominated and one that we think will win.
Yeah, and Blake and Miles will give their rankings on the other 4 because they didn't do the homework.
Yeah, they'll do that before.
Thanks,
the
Mom.
rankings. Yeah. What's it called?
Hey,
To be
you know
fair,
what? It wasn't really
No,
my
Miles-
fault. I
Miles-
couldn't get to go see Flea. It's very limited release, and I just saying,
I'll say this,
it was
Miles-
hard to watch.
Okay.
I say with Miles, I'll give him a pass because he did give me a valid reason he called. And also too, he's our sound mixer and projection set designer, so it's actually a blessing that he hosts every once in a while. Every time he hosts, it's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Blake
Yeah.
refused to see this movie
Oh
for
my
absolutely no
God.
reason, and I
That
couldn't
is
believe
not
it.
what happened.
He's just lazy. He's just lazy.
I had a COVID scare. What the fuck do you
You
want?
had a COVID scare for Dexter New Blood, and you went out to get a test, and then you to make sure, but you didn't do that for this one. But it's
Okay, all right,
It's
all right,
okay.
whatever.
Let's get back to
yeah,
the
we're
review
going
roundup.
Best animated
okay.
features.
So the main 5 films that we'll be talking about, because we talked about Belle in the previous one, there's an offside chance that it might get nominated based on previous records. And they usually like to include a Japanese animated film representation there. But the 5 is Raya and the Last Dragon, The Mitchells vs. the Machine, Luca, Encanto, and Flea. What's that? So we're going to go them in chronological order of release. So the first one is Raya and the Last Dragon, directed by Don Hall and Carlos Lopez Estrada, and is from the Walt Disney Animation Studios, their main animation studios.
It should have been called Dr. Stone with Dragons because
Yes.
that's what it was.
And what's it called? Brief premise of the show. The world is in shit. There is no more dragons. And everybody has stones.
No,
Just
everybody.
kidding. Just kidding.
Everyone is turned into. Oh yeah, well I guess everyone does have
The
stones.
stones.
There's
yeah.
a lot of stone work
Yeah,
here.
There's a lot of stone stuff. Like I said, this film's been out for a while. I automatically I'll just say recommend watch. It's technically shouldn't even really be out this year because of COVID. It got delayed like into March. Like it was supposed to be competing last year, but I think also it wouldn't have got any attention because Soul kind of just sucked everything 2020 for animated films.
Which, by the way, Soul's not up here. Which is I didn't see it to be fair, but I've heard good things. It's not up there.
So was last year.
Was that technically last
It's
year as well?
2020.
I see.
It's
I see.
2020.
Oh yes, yes.
Idiot.
Another delayed release. Was
Yeah.
Raya released in theaters? Yes or no? Do you know?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get into that with Pixar. Yeah,
Okay.
they're really pissed with
Yeah.
turning red. Yeah. So
Literally turning red.
yeah, this got delayed and it got released in March of this year with theater and also the $30 Disney Plus Premiere Access. Was it worth $30 to rent? It's renting, by the way. You don't own the film.
No.
No,
Nothing
I
is
don't.
worth a $30 rental, in my opinion.
It's an
I guess if you really want to get into that discussion, if you like, it is a big new movie, and and you have like 5 friends over and you all pitch in, maybe.
And you got a really nice projector.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
You're able. Are you able to download it though from Disney Plus?
Oh,
when
Yeah,
you
you're
rent
able to download
Okay.
it. Yes.
Okay, so if you can download it for the rental,
Oh, and,
And-
you
and,
get
like-
to keep it as long as you have Disney Plus. Yeah.
okay, so that's. I mean,
Yes.
it's free now on Disney Plus, so
Yeah.
it's like,
I guess you want the exclusive. It's weird. They're not gonna do it all the time. It's
Yeah.
none of these Disney Plus things did well. Even for fucking Black Widow, they jerked it off, but it didn't. All right, so let's talk about the film. What are your thoughts? Let's start off with Miles.
like I said, it just through the film, it was reminding me a lot of Dr. Stone, just because everybody was getting turned into stones, and it was a post-apocalyptic wasteland.
I like the anime, by the
and
way.
with dragons. But other than that, I really, really, really enjoyed this film. I thought it was a great film, except for one glaring thing. And
Say it right now. Yeah.
I did not like Awkwafina's voice acting. I think that the character was poorly written for
Oh.
Sisu. Yeah, I know, right?
You're gonna get some
Um,
Aquafina hate.
Yeah, I know, but it's
Nora
it-
from
it
the
just-
Queen's going down on you, bitch.
Great show, by the
It
way.
was just kind of, it was just kind of annoying, her acting, and I felt like it detracted from the overall story. And like I said, that's just my opinion, but that's the only thing holding that back from being one of my favorite films of the year.
And Ron, it seems like your face was contorting during the entire thing. Let's have you follow that up.
I loved Raya. I thought it was just great. The animation was fantastic. The world building. I love that it took place in Southeast Asia. You got to see all the different kinds of like cultural inspirations in all the different lands and stuff. It was just super fun. And I liked Awkwafina. I didn't love her, honestly, in the film. I understand what they're going for. They always have to have like that kind of the goofy side character and stuff. I think that her basically how she's acting, like it makes sense for where her character's coming from. She is extremely naive and like just unsuspecting in this world. So she's like, I don't understand. Like, you can't trust people. Like, why not? Like, I don't get that. But yeah, no, I think for the most part it was great. Again, the action was super cool. The world was just fun to live in, and I don't know. Like I kind of hope they don't make a sequel, but if they do, like I might be interested. I don't
Nice,
know.
nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Blake?
Well. So for Raya and the Last Dragon, I really, really, really liked the animation. I thought it was a beautiful looking movie. I think we can all agree on that.
Yes.
And it created atmosphere really well. Overall, in terms of like strictly visual, it's probably one of my favorites from animation category in this year. I thought it did a great job kind of setting up the world and everything.
Yeah, the world building was excellent.
That being said, I don't think I like it as much as you guys, but for a different reason. I thought that it was a little too goofy in parts where I don't know. I would have preferred it to have been a little less jokey. Like, I understand it's for children first and foremost.
And it's Disney.
And it's Disney. But I don't know. I would have preferred this done a little more straight, just a little more serious. But that being said, I don't think Awkwafina was that bad. I think in terms of like the character she was playing, she did a good job. But I would have reeled back that character's comedic elements a little bit. And I get it. She's like the character that you expect to be like this insanely badass, crazy thing. It's almost, but instead, it's more of like
It's like Mushu, where it's
yeah,
like,
that's a good
he's
good
like,
example.
I'm the powerful dragon, and then it's like he's just a goofball who doesn't know what he's doing.
So I think that's fine, and I actually kind of like that they went that route. But I would have taken out a little bit of the comedy.
Yeah.
But
Or
that-
Genie, by the way. Sorry, it's like that same kind of character that like,
Yeah.
they reoccurring
The
in a lot of
epic,
Disney
the
films.
epic
yeah.
mythical character that's more of a comedic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have reeled back the comedy in general, though, just a little bit, and had more fun with the epic. But that being said, visually, it's fucking beautiful.
You know what? Completely agree with you.
Yeah, I
100%
agree
on
with
this
Blake, yeah.
with Miles on this. I'm not Miles. Blake. Blake and Miles are the same people. Just kidding.
We
He's
have
just saying
very
that because
different
we're
I'm
opinions.
white.
joking.
I'm not
joking.
even
You
white.
can't
I'm
see the
joking.
difference
Okay.
between white people. It's
I'm not
horrible.
white.
You guys
Yeah.
kind of blend different
Yeah.
shades of mayonnaise. But
Oh, wow.
I'm just kidding. But I'm just joking. I'm joking. I love you guys.
Yeah.
Your mayonnaise, your cream cheese. So I completely agree with you. Raya and the Last Dragon, beautiful, and honestly, with the humor stuff like that, that's something with a lot of Disney films that just like. In order for, it's hard for me to. I mean, it is a criticism, but it's hard for me to take the criticism to court, because that means we would have to change the entire company as a whole. Disney,
Yeah.
and it's just like it's a hallmark of that films.
Yeah, I feel like because the other two Disney films that came out this year, I mean, Luca being Pixar, but I mean it's Disney, and Encanto, like I feel like those ones being a little bit more goofy and comedic, I'm okay with, but like Raya, the story and everything felt like the most adult.
It's very
and,
heavy.
and like the
Mhm.
most mature. Like you actually see people like die kind of, but like not really. But
Not permanently die.
Yeah,
Just
but
die
it's
for a time.
it's definitely meant to have like way more impact and stuff. So I feel like this is the one. If they were gonna do a more adult version, like of their stories, like this would have been a really cool one. But they kind
This
of
could have been and also, I'm not that I'm like advocating for like let's create a bunch of big giant franchises, but I was kind of surprised how neatly they tied up the story at the end. I kind of had the idea this could be like a flagship for a bigger franchise,
I'm sure
They might actually.
but I
Yeah.
do feel like it's a little too neat at the end, especially, and that's one of my other criticisms I'll get into really quick. At the very, very end, like when everybody shows up and like everybody's in harmony, including the mom who's just like, no, kill the dragon, erase our mistakes. I was just a little bit like, okay.
Yeah, that mom
Yeah.
was definitely evil. I don't know why the fuck anybody ever forgave her. She was like clearly a bad person.
I
Well,
would
you're
say,
missing the point of the story though when you say that.
Yeah,
though,
I
too.
feel like they do enough to show how like her intentions are more they want to clear their own name because they did make this huge mistake in the past and they've been dealing with the fallout of that ever since. So she's like I it's a twisted perspective
No,
and
it
it's not
really felt-
exactly like wholesome, I'll say, because she's like, we have to steal this, we have to fix the world, because ultimately that is her goal. She wants to fix the world but to also make them look good, which is where she's flawed. And I feel like she eventually, I mean, maybe she doesn't have that specific moment for her to see how that was wrong, but
So
I get what they were trying to do with her.
I don't necessarily think she wanted to fix the world. Like looking at it, it really felt like she was just placating her daughter. Like, oh yeah, no, we need to be the ones to gather the dragon or the crystal shard pieces and
Yeah.
get the dragon here, so that we are in control of this, so that we can fix what we did wrong. But at the same time, it really feels like a play for power on her part, where
Yeah.
Yeah,
she just wants the power. It's not about saving the world. She doesn't care about that. She just wants to be in control of the situation.
I'll say, like, I think that her primary goal was probably to clear their name, but also fix the world. Like, I'll
Yeah,
say.
maybe.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's.
And- yeah, let's-
and this will for viewers out there. This is also the end of the 10-month journey where I try to get Ron to watch Raya and the Last Dragon.
What do you mean?
Yeah, when it came out, I was like, dude, hey, I bought this. By the way, I'm one of the fools who bought this on at Disney Premier Access.
What a
And one
fool.
of the reasons why was to get Ron to watch it. I was like, you watch it? You watch it? He's like, no. And I'm like, oh, okay. I just wasted $30.
Oh wait, how many other people did you get to watch it on your Disney Plus?
No, you were the first person to ask, though.
Okay,
You're the
alright.
main person.
Let's
yeah.
hope Disney doesn't hear
Philip
this.
threw
and
a birthday
cancel your
party and
subscription.
you didn't go to it.
Exactly. What's it called? But
Okay,
finally,
I-
it's happened.
I did watch it and I enjoyed it a lot. Really,
Yeah.
one of my
It
favorites.
just takes
this
a
year.
long time for Ron to.
Yeah,
watch it. It's okay,
I watch
won't-
things on my own time. Damn it.
What's it called? For a podcast. Okay, for our next film, and then what's it called? The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Woo! Any of you guys who have watched our previous what was it
New Year's-
2021
New Year's
in review
special.
New
Yeah.
Year's special knows that I absolutely love this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I just wanted to say that before Philip gives us the rundown on it.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
yeah,
What's it called? So Mitchells versus the Machine, directed by Mike Rianda of Gravity Falls fame, which I absolutely love, and you could see that.
Mhm.
You could see you like Gravity Falls? Have you seen it?
yeah, I've seen like 2 seasons of it, but then I've like watched like the lore videos on
Yeah.
YouTube because I was bored one night and I was like, oh fuck, there's a lot of lore to this.
Yeah, and you could kind of see, right?
Yeah.
Character design and stuff like that. But yeah, and it's produced by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who are gods among Sony Pictures Animation Studios and stuff like that, because they helped give us Spider-Verse
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the Lego Movie.
and the Lego Movie, and also Cloudy with a Chance of Meatball.
Yes, yeah, and the
Yeah.
Cloudy with Chance. of
Another
Meatballs.
good movie.
What's it called? Yeah, and what's it called? And it was supposed to come out last year during theaters, but because the COVID happened, so they just Netflix bought it for $100 million and released it, and it became the most viewed animation films. I think like 50+ million people watched it in the first month.
Wowza.
And it did really well, and it's the most critically acclaimed of the 5 that we're talking about right now.
I don't agree with that.
Let's go.
You would be wrong.
No, I'm saying I don't agree that it's the most critically acclaimed.
Oh,
I'm
no,
just saying
that's
I
just
don't
a-
agree
wait, that's
that.
just a fact.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
fact. I'm saying I don't agree that it
should be.
be.
Yeah, it should be.
well, you would be wrong.
What's a brief premise of the show? It's the Mitchells are this kind of unique,
show?
quirky family, or no, movie. My bad.
Idiot.
The Mitchells is What's it called? The Mitchells is a movie about this kind of quirky family. The main character, Kate, is also preparing for film school, and she has a kind of a distant relationship with her dad, where they disagree on a lot of things, and they're complete polar opposites on a lot of values. But while this is happening, this Mark Zuckerberg-like character creates, AIs that evil killer machines.
I feel like this is the guy Mark Zuckerberg wants to be.
Yeah.
This is more like Steve Jobs / like Elon Musk.
I know. All
Played-
combined into one person.
Yeah.
Played by
yeah.
Eric Andre, who does a
Yes.
fantastic
Yeah, he did
job.
a great job.
He did
Yeah.
a great job. And also the villain too.
Yeah.
The villain's not bad. I'm very sympathetic.
Mhm.
Um,
No, that's how this movie shows how you create a sympathetic villain, because you can see
yeah.
where the villain, who is a phone,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
coming from.
What's it called? And that was good.
Yeah.
Like I said, and it came out. I watched it right when it came out. Also tried to get Ron to watch it. And also this one for him is a 9-month journey to get him to watch this
The
film.
clock is
Yeah.
ticking down. I didn't watch any of these until like last week.
Exactly. So it took a podcast and 1,000 hours of efforts and thousands of views to get him to watch this film. What's it called? And I was already interested in, because it was Lord and Miller, and they're the same animation team who made Into the Spider-Verse, and you kind of tell, and they kind of further that animation. I watched it, I loved it, and I'll leave it at that before I get to Miles. You talked about it, so I'm
Well,
gonna give it to
Okay,
Blake
I'll
first.
come back
Blake.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
The dad looks like Mr. Incredible.
you know who's
Like-
dad voiced by?
Who was it voiced by?
Miles, you say it. I want you to give the drum roll. Oh, you don't know? Oh,
It's
it's
Danny-
Danny
Dan
McBride.
McBride.
Danny
Danny
McBride. I
McBride,
thought
yeah.
you knew, because we talked about it last time, and then you said you liked the voice.
Yeah. I probably knew somewhere in the back of my mind grapes, but
Yeah.
It's a star-studded cast.
Yeah.
Like really all these movies, but particularly this one seems to
And Maya
have
Rudolph is in 2 of these films.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I think she's I was gonna say, I think this movie has the most celebrities in it, which is not that far off from Sony Pictures.
Before I get to my opinion, I just want to say that they're called the Mitchells. The entire time I was thinking, what if it was Arthur Mitchell from Dexter? And it's him and his dysfunctional family fighting against robots. I don't know, just a funny thought. He could have and he would have had a hammer in his pocket.
Shut
Yeah.
up, cunt.
As he's beating the robots to death. Stupid fucking cunt.
All right, go
so
on.
Hayward
What's your opinion?
instead
What's
of
your
the
opinion?
screwdriver.
Well, Philip, I really, really like this movie. I thought it was great. My problem with a lot of animated movies is I kind of feel like a lot of the time the core of the movie feels like a backdrop for just mindless entertainment for children a lot of the time. This one, I really felt the core. They really spend their time on it in the beginning. We really get to understand this very realistic disconnect from Kate and her father. You really just see how they're both kind of trying, but they just don't really get each other. They don't understand. And I really like that. I thought it was super cool. And then as the movie progresses, it gets a little wacky with, the robots and everything. But the focus is always on them. It's always about their disconnect and how they kind of have to get over that. And I thought it did an incredible job crafting that. I also did like the visual style, which I think everybody will
Yes.
agree with. It looked
Mhm.
very, very pretty. And it was genuinely pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
And I do like the moments where it gets kind of like very adult for like 30-second intervals, like when what's his name? When Eric Andre is like, maybe this thinks that this is kind of making me think that sharing everybody's personal information to AIs might not be a good idea. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you think?
An
Yeah, yeah, but
unregulated
overall-
tech monopoly is bad.
Yeah.
overall, this was a very wonderful film experience.
What about you, Ron?
Okay, so I will say, out of all these films, with the exception of maybe Encanto, but I think just because it's newer, this is like my niece's favorite. She's been watching this movie like nonstop for a while, and I didn't watch it at first, but then watching it now, I'm like, oh, I get it. It is like, it's super fast paced. There's like there's tons of jokes happening, like one right after the other. The animation is all over the place, but it doesn't feel like distracting. It really just adds to the energy and the excitement of everything that's happening. So I really like that. I enjoyed it. It's not as much as I think you guys did. Or
No, that's
I
fine.
know for a fact not as much as you
As
guys.
a world, actually.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, apparently. But I did really have a good time, and I do appreciate, again, the emotional core to it. I appreciate the animation, and the voice work was great across the board. I loved Danny McBride. I loved Maya Rudolph. I loved the kind of no-name voice actor guy. No offense, but Michael Reinda as the son. I think he did a great job too, and I love that they got a guy. They didn't just get like some big celebrity name to do that. They just got some other dude who does smaller voice work, which is great. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. The theme was great, and yeah, I feel like it could have been a very, feel like it could have been like a very throwaway, like easy storyline to do of like dad doesn't like and understand technology, and like the kids are addicted to their phones, but like it tries to find the middle ground in that,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate that. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
And did you guys know that the pug was actually voiced by Doug the Pug?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, it's
also
right.
apparently the voice actor for the son is the same as the director.
Yeah. What's it called? Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I'm not. By the way, for all these films, for Raya to Encanto, I'm not gonna give super in depth. I actually have like what's it called. If you guys somehow there are 79 subscribers, who ever find me on my anonymous articles on random websites. If you guys can, kudos to you. And I have there. You guys go find it.
Oh, you just ignited a fire, buddy.
I know. For 79 people. What's it called?
Watch this video is gonna blow up 5 million.
My gosh.
views.
If they fuck it. If they did find it, I'll be so embarrassed. What's it called? The Mitchells versus the Machines. I think out of the 5, even though I think all of them are very beautifully animated, other than Flea, 'cause that's a whole different beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost in its own separate category.
I feel like honestly Flea shouldn't even be in this category, but I'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah. What's it called? It's the most unique animation for sure. And I give it the most props out of all of these is that it feels the most original because like some of these other films and and some worse than others, and not necessarily Encanto, but like they're quite derivative, or they wear their influences on the sleeves, like Raya with particularly martial arts films and stuff like that. I mean, that's fine, that's cool, and that they work well with that film. And Luca, well, I'll get to that when we talk about that film. And but Mitchell's, I think like the narrative is unique, and also like the animation style makes it feel like this is a one of a kind film that I haven't seen before.
It's a whole new beast.
Yeah, it's like where there's like 3D animation and people draw it on top. I'm not gonna get into the in-depth animation because Netflix has a really good behind the scenes documentary about the
it
animation
feels
style.
like a mixed media art piece almost.
Yes, and also the just the style of the way everything's presented through the lens of Kate. Right?
Mhm.
Never have I felt a film like so. It's kind of like Speed Racer but animated, where like the entire film is what's it called. And Speed Racers, honestly, we'll talk about that. Have you seen Speed Racer lately?
Not lately, but yeah,
we'll talk about that in a bit. But in the
Yeah.
sense that film where like the verisimilitude is everything is through the perspective of the main character,
Yeah.
and the visually of the film is reflected that way. And the same way in this one, like the way it's like the when the car is like the Mitchell style, like the
Yeah.
way they back up the car and it freeze frames.
The Rick Mitchell special.
The
Yeah.
Rick Mitchell special, yes, and
Yeah.
or when she's waving her arms and there's like lines that follow her arms and stuff
Yeah.
like that, because that's how she visualizes the world, and I really appreciate that. And I like that, what's it called?
When they do the little raptor thing,
Yes.
and like you see like little tiny 2D animated raptors pop up, and it's great.
Exactly, and that's why I appreciate these films like these more, where it doesn't feel like it's okay to be influenced something, but you have to understand why what it influenced you made it so great, and not be a lesser version of that. And this one is not like that because it's its own thing, and obviously it was influenced by other animation films, and that's why I appreciate it a lot. And for final ratings, we'll get that to in a bit.
Yeah. I want to fire off some quick.
Yeah,
thoughts.
go on.
So
Let's hear it.
following up on what you said, it felt chaotic but consistent in its chaos, which is something that's a really hard balance to pull off. And I think that it did that really well. Definitely when we're talking about inspirations for this film, there's one inspiration that I saw very quickly for any of you who have watched Kill la Kill. It is basically the Monconcho family, straight down to having a dog that's like a little pug, and you got the dad, the son, the daughter, the mom, and they've all got kind of similar personalities to the characters in Kill la Kill. I thought it was great. It was like they gave them a whole movie, then I just visualized them driving around in their van with the dad being the back alley doctor. In this one, he's an artisan craftsman that had to basically give up his dreams.
Right, and that's the example of like it's being influenced by it, but they understand what works and elevating it. But
Yeah.
Do you know what other family has a pug famously? The Atreides.
oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Okay, so you want
yeah,
something?
no,
Go on.
that was just one of my thoughts.
Oh,
Sorry. I got a lot of thoughts
that's
on the
fine.
film.
That's
I'm
fine.
going to fire them off quick, though. And then when it comes to the way that they did the end credits, I really enjoyed the way that they did the end credits, where they actually had photographs of the people who were voice actors and
Yeah.
worked on the movie with their families, really showing that it was a good family movie.
Yeah,
I
and then
think-
a lot of them working on it during COVID lockdown too.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you have like that whole thing where we were talking about the family connection, which I thought was just absolutely beautiful. The way that they were able to show basically what it feels like growing up different, and feeling like you don't really connect to not even your own family, and just having a bunch of weirdos around, and then trying to kind of connect, especially with the father and the daughter, who are far more similar than they ever realized. And they discover that throughout the film, because they're both artists, and the father is just one who has given up his dreams for something that he finds more important, which is family. And the daughter doesn't understand that quite yet. And the Furby language, or not the Furbies. I gotta bring that up.
The-
Yeah,
Um,
okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
the two other robots. or-
yeah.
Yes.
No, the Furbies.
Oh, the actual
Oh, no,
Furbies.
Yeah, the Furbies.
Yeah.
The language that they had, where it was just like little squeaky language, and you had those subtitles. I thought that was great, where they were like the darkest subtitles I have ever seen, for like these cute little furry creatures just shooting lasers out of their mouth and talking like "back to the darkness I return" and things like that. Just overall a fun, crazy movie, and everything about it was unexpected, but in a good way.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I never really felt like I knew where the movie was going to go, but when it went to where it was going, it followed. And
Yeah.
that's, so it wasn't like, just kind of off the cuff. It was more very planned out, but it kept you thinking and wondering what was going to happen next.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Oh, it's called.
Sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Look, you're very passionate about the film, and we'd love to see that passion.
I actually
Yeah.
have one last thing to say
Okay.
about
Okay,
it. too.
Blake. Let's hear your point.
First thing I'm going to say, it's ironic that this is a movie for kids today, when I think that it actually takes a lot of. It feels like very much a movie for like our generation.
Yes.
It feels very 2007 YouTube, like
Mm.
very, very early YouTube and like YouNow and websites like that. I don't know. That being said, I do like how that's integrated into this, and I don't know. I just thought it was really cool how it kind of has that like 08 internet vibe throughout the entire thing. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it for that.
It's also I completely agree.
That was one thing that I had with it, was just that I felt like this movie should have came out like 10 years ago. But
No,
whatever.
I think there's enough.
I mean, it
relevance
works
right
for
now.
today.
Yeah, yeah.
It works. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it works.
don't know.
It's fine.
It felt a little
it just doesn't
dated.
work.
Ron
for your
just fucking hates
sensibilities.
this movie for no reason. It's fine.
It's
I
also
have
fun
not
for me
even
'cause,
like
I've been
said
annoying Ron.
native
I
shit.
was like,
Ron-
watch Mitchell's, watch
I-
Mitchell's, watch Mitchell's.
I have
Just
not
kidding, I
been
didn't say
saying that even negative things. I was
Be-
just like, it feels a little dated. It's the funniest one. I'll give it that.
Before
So,
we started,
it-
Ron was
it
like, I
feel-
fucking hate this
yeah,
movie. It's a piece
no,
of
just-
shit.
whatever.
compared-
Let's move on.
All right.
Compared to us,
So-
it just feels like you're hating on this more
so
than like
let-
you were Spencer.
What's it called? Oh, by the way, Ron was happy with the SAG results. But okay, let's go. Let's go to Luca by Pixar. That's their film this year. Directed by Enrico Casarosa, who's been working at Pixar for forever.
Mhm.
And this is his big debut film, or at least solo debut film. And a lot of this takes from his own personal life, and it's heavily influenced by Fellini films. And
He's a merman?
that's yes, Fellini films and
He's a monster.
Miyazaki's films. Particularly, there's a couple like his slice of life stuff, like Kiki's Delivery Service, My Neighbor Totoro, and his TV show Future Boy Conan. I think that's the one. Yeah, if you guys ever seen that, there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah. And of course, Porto Rosso.
No, I mean like
Porco Rosso, sorry.
yeah.
In terms of visuals and
I-
stuff,
yeah,
and like
some
the
visual-
setting and stuff. Like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Just there's definitely a nod to that. I mean, the town.
Oh,
is
of course,
called
Porto
Porto
Rosso,
Rosso.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I felt more in like that nod. But
Yeah,
I
I'm
get
just saying,
that.
it's just
No,
a
I get that.
nod.
It's a fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one that takes place in fucking Italy. Like, so
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying,
know.
like-
No, that's fine. It is. It's probably not. I mean, he was talking about all his favorite. He was ranking his Miyazaki films in a video.
yeah.
It's about, and also the characters are named after childhood friends. So that's,
Oh.
yeah, both, yeah. So Luca is, a
It's
sea
a movie.
monster who, once he gets out of water, he, looks like a human, and he's with a bunch of sea monsters underseas. He's chilling. He's like, "What's life outside?" And he sees Alberto. They're like, "Oh shit, hey, let's chill outside. Let's go to a village." They go to a village. It's a slice of life narrative. They try to win a Vespa. and other things happen.
Yeah. And they live in an agricultural pre-industrial society.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's start.
Sorry, I think that's important to
The
mention. Yeah.
the
What
sea
is it?
monsters.
Yeah, the sea
Yes.
monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
okay, yeah.
because I mean you see them farming and stuff like that, and they're living a traditional Italian countryside lifestyle. It feels like.
All right, let's start off with Blake. Do you want to give your thoughts on the film?
I actually don't have that much to say. I did like it. Sorry, I'm dying over here. I did like it. I did like the animation, particularly the underwater stuff. I thought was pretty visually interesting. I do like Luca and Alberto's friendship. It does feel a little contrived in the middle when they have their fall apart. It feels a little.
You mean the Pixar formula that they
Yeah.
hacked over, where A and B character, the main character, they get together on circumcised circumstance, but after getting together, a specific thing happens and they fall out and they're separated. But while they separated, they figure out the themes of the movie and they get back together for the climax of the film. The end.
I do think that was a little bit contrived.
It's like every Pixar film. Yeah.
And I will just say it. This isn't my favorite Pixar movie. Coco came out a few years ago, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't think any movie is ever gonna be as good as Coco.
Have
in
you
my
seen
book.
Soul?
I have not. I know. I gotta
Yeah.
see that, but I don't know. Coco like hit me harder than any other Pixar movie. I just thought it was great.
I fell asleep.
You fell asleep during Coco?
You fell
Yeah.
asleep during Coco?
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Coco is
Wait,
so
yeah.
good.
Was Inside Out Pixar?
Yeah.
Okay,
That
yeah,
also had the same formula too, remember?
Yeah, but that movie brings tears to my
No, it
eyes.
is. I-
That's
Yeah.
one of
There's
my
sometimes-
Ron, I
favorite
can't
films.
believe you didn't watch Coco all the way through. It's so, dude. I'm not even a Pixar guy. I don't really care about animation as
Well,
much.
I'm
as
surprised,
everyone else.
actually.
I think it was like afterward. Why are you surprised?
I know, no, because you're a Pixar guy, not because.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised
because-
you haven't seen Soul.
Yeah,
You know what I
no. I was really like, I was like after work or something. We like put on Coco, and I started watching it, and I was just like, I don't think I'm in the right mindset.
I think with
fell
Soul, it's
asleep.
gonna be like a 2-year journey for you to watch.
I'll
And
watch
with,
it
with Toy
eventually.
Story, it's gonna be 3 years.
No, honestly, being
Toy
on
Story
this
4.
anime binge right now, I think I might watch it. you
This
know.
isn't anime. This is animated film.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
I forgot what anime
Anyways.
was shorted for.
Anyways, but yeah, I thought Luca was fine. I liked it generally, but it's not something that I've thought about really since I've watched it. But it was fine. I definitely think watch it.
What about you, Miles?
Okay.
Oh, actually, did you end up finishing?
yes,
Okay,
I
perfect.
managed to finish this movie.
Did you watch it on your Game Boy
I-
SP?
No, I rushed home from work today to watch it though. I don't have access to my sister's Disney Plus account,
Yeah.
so I basically have had to binge a lot of the stuff on Disney Plus this week, just to get it watched, and that was the last one on my list to finish watching. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun film. Right mixture of comedy and narrative. It went well together. I think that the characters that they chose to portray were all very unique and fun. The main villain was interesting. It felt like kind of the cookie cutter villain, but at the cookie cutter Pixar villain where it's like they aren't really all that evil, but they're kind of a dick.
Skyfall.
Yeah. But he was kind of fun, and there was like a lot of funny visual comedy going on with him. And the main female character, who Luca and Antonio meet,
I think Gilia or something.
Ulia,
Gilia, I think, or
Oh.
may have been Ulia. I'm not. I don't
Gilia,
remember.
or something.
Gilia, something.
Yeah, I
G
can't-
I U L I A.
Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce it. Unfortunately, I'm bad at pronunciations. But yeah, I think that she was very interesting. She provided a lot to the film, and I want to kind of counter the point that was made by Blake by Philip, I guess, more so, about how it's just the standard Pixar.
Wait, what do you mean? I didn't even like.
Or,
I even said my opinion yet.
No, well, okay. I guess you started talking about it when Blake was talking about it, but the relationship between Luca and Antonio, I feel like it worked the way that they split up, because Antonio, missing his father and finally having connected back with somebody again, and then feeling like he was losing this person in Luca to somebody else. I understand where the conflict could arise there.
It didn't
And
feel
him becoming-
contrived. I'll
Yeah,
say.
it didn't feel contrived.
I've seen so many other animated films
Yes.
where it feels like, okay, yeah, now you guys have to fight. I was like, I get this, like, and I feel
Yeah.
like they set it up so well. But I'll talk.
and
about
by the way-
I do feel like the reconciliation was a little bit.
Yeah.
And by the way, I
Yeah.
never was it, and There's no
Yeah.
counter at that point. I'm just literally stating a formula. It's like you can't
Okay.
counter A times B equals AB.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, I
watch
guess-
me. Watch me.
I guess what I was saying is that how Blake said that he was
Yeah.
kind of like contrived and stuff like that, or whatever it was that he
Yeah,
said.
fucking Blake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But no, I felt like it worked well for this film. And then also the dad of
Alberto's
Julia.
new pseudo. By the way, have
Yeah.
you guys
Which-
seen Shao Alberto?
No.
We'll talk about it at
Mm.
the end. Yeah,
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh, you're
Oh.
going on your point. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I sorry, I thought you were pointing to somebody else. But no, I thought that it worked very well. The driving point of them wanting to ride a Vespa, I think, was very interesting, and then Luca kind of going from that to be like, I just want to learn more about this society. I don't want to live in this agricultural society anymore. I want to see what there is to see, know all this new knowledge. And Antonio's kind of locked in his ways a little bit, where it's like, I know what I know and I figure things out. And if I say something's true, it's true. And I think that they both have good endings, with Antonio kind of finding a new father figure where he can do something that he's good at with, in fishing. And it just works out. And Luca finds a great kind of way to be able to adventure off to school with somebody who he knows he can trust.
Who's Antonio?
What?
Who's
What-
Antonio? You keep talking about this character Antonio, Miles.
Wait,
I think he means Alberto. It's fine.
Alberto.
I know,
It's fine.
I know.
Why didn't you guys correct me earlier?
'Cause
I'm
I
sorry.
want to see how long
I
it'll
saw
go.
I saw Philip's face light up too.
Oh God, I feel
because I don't want to interrupt Miles. You know what I mean? I don't want to get his his
No,
beating every now and then.
interrupt me for something like
I'm
that.
just kidding. Go
I'm
on.
horrible
Miles.
with
I'm
names.
just kidding.
I
I'm
must
sorry.
have missed this character the whole movie.
Sorry, Alberto. Yeah.
It's Alberto.
I even said Shao Alberto. That was one of the reasons why I said that. That's
Shao.
a kind of hint. And then Miles still continue with Antonio. Go on, Miles. Let's not spend some more time.
Oh.
Go
Shut
on.
up, Bruno.
Okay. Yeah. No. I yes. Shut up, Bruno. But you know what? I'm just gonna leave it there with my embarrassment. Yeah, Ron, you talk about this.
All right, Ron, give
I
us your
loved
opinion.
Luca. It was so fun. I thought the visuals were so fun. It was like a beautiful setting. It was cool. I love the character of Luca himself, like this like really wide-eyed kid who just really wants to explore and see the world. He's kind of like almost like a Little Mermaid, where he's just like, I just want to go up to the surface, but like he's still scared of it. He goes out, and then I love the relationship between him and Alberto. Like they were just really fun. Like there was a lot of visual comedy that made me laugh. It was cute and also sad and like heartbreaking at certain moments. I love when again, like you were saying, the relationship between Alberto and the fisherman father guy. He's like, he's a hard ass, of course, but like he eventually really warms up to this kid, and he's just like, where'd he, like when he goes missing, he's like, where'd he go? Like, I gotta go find him. And it's like, you sons of bitches, you know how to tug at those heartstrings. But yeah, no, I liked it. I know it's a very formulaic film. You can definitely know where it's going. You already like it's like it's all there from A, B to C.
What, you didn't know about the Pixar A and B story? I just knew. I just figured it out on this film. What?
But I had a great time, and it was one of my favorites of this year. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it so much.
I'll say this for me. My opinion has softened on this quite a bit. Because I was quite critical. Even though I really love Soul, I was also critical of that film because that had, I mean, I don't know when's the last time I've seen a Pixar film that doesn't use the AB character storyline quite a bit. In this one, I kind of was softening on it quite a bit because I rewatched it. Like, I don't know why. I don't even like this one that much, but I watched it 5 times. I watched it when it
Oh
came
my
out.
God.
And I watched it every month to try to see if, like, like new things about it, right? And
Okay.
Have you considered seeing a psychiatrist?
Yeah. I watch films and I what's it called? And then I watched the documentary. I watched Future Boy Conan again and to see where he was kind of going for. And look, and I give this a lot of props where it's obviously a passion project for Enrico, and he's he's putting a lot of heart and soul into it. And some of the stuff that really stands out to me is like any of the times where they have these overtly imaginative sequences with Alberto and Alberto and Luco. When like when one time they're riding the Vespa and then like the fields turn gold and green and like those sequences were great. I was like, okay, I like that. I even like the noodly arm animation that's like an homage to Future Boy Conan, which is his film, which is weird. It's a huge. I give him props so much for that's a deep cut fucking reference. to Miyazaki. Porto Rosso, that's not deep cut. That's super shallow as fuck. But it's cool that he called it Porto Rosso. And also I think it's
He wanted to
It's a
name
pl-
Luca Porto Rosso or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
like
and
his
also,
Luca's
like,
last name.
I forgot what it means in Italian or something like that. It's a dual meaning thing. But I think part of the thing that he doesn't understand about, I mean, I think he actually does, but it's just impossible. I think it's just impossible to make unless it's Soul and you're Pete Docter and you own Pixar. Hence, that's why that film didn't really have a strong, clear-cut villain. It's impossible for a Pixar film not to have a traditional villain. Like even Coco, really love, and that one worked well. With the villainous musician.
It's a twist.
What's it called? But it's like it's hard for you to do an authentic slice of life animation films like Kiki's Delivery Service. Have you seen that? I think that's the one that you've seen.
I have
right?
seen it.
Yeah,
Not since I was a child, though.
yeah.
Everybody loves Kiki's Delivery Service. It's
Yeah.
a great movie.
Kiki's Delivery Service, My Neighbor Totoro, and what's it called? And those films, particularly what the appealing about it is like there's no overgrandiose plot. There's the villain is there's no what's it called? There's no physical being villain.
The villain is society.
What's it called? And the conflict usually generates from just the character interactions and just their day-to-day journey. It's literally slice of life, like the definition. It's a day-to-day journey of how they live their life and how the character grows within this environment. And what makes it kind of unique with this slice of life, they add some little fantastical elements sprinkled throughout. But this one, they can't help themselves. They have Urkel. Amazing villain. My favorite villain of the year. Oh yeah, King Vespa.
Incredibly subtle, nuanced.
Hey, what's wrong with you? You stupido.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, wow. It's Pixar. So I think like he wanted to make like those like a slice of life Miyazaki homage film with a little bit of Fellini in it, a slice of life. But it's impossible because it's a Pixar film and there's certain requirements. You need an A and B formula characters. You need a villain, and the stakes have to be insanely high for no reason. But and that's why I think like it kind of worked against this film. And if anything, a lot of my flaws, and even like the stuff with Alberto and the dad, which I really love. I'm getting too much into it. You guys find my secret article somewhere online. I really hope you guys don't find it. It's like Shao Alberto. In the movie, like they hint at some relationship between Alberto and the dad, right? The fisherman dad. But I didn't get it as much as I did in Shao Alberto, where every single moment is between them and you see the struggles, the tribulations, and also the bonding and the forgiveness in that in 8 minutes. And then honestly, that tugged at my heartstring more than the film. The entire runtime of Luca, the film. That's why I would recommend it. I think that's like my favorite part of that. And I would even love a film with Alberto and the dad in the future going on. And there's also things where like I wish they spent more time with the sea monster creature and stuff like that before they went to the land. And also there's some plot issues where like really like the parents, the whole point is that their fear of their kids are going to be found out by the village and that they'll be hunted down and killed. So how do they find their kids? By putting them in water in front of the entire village. It's kind of like, wait, what's like, and at Pixar, I know, I'm not saying they're the strongest writers in the world and they have a formula, but they're usually a little bit more logically tight than this.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, okay. And there's moments
They have
like
a triathlon that has a spaghetti eating contest. I think that
but that's not a logical issue, right? That's just like part of the thing. But like,
who has a spaghetti eating contest as part of a triathlon? That doesn't seem
No, I'm
like a
talking
good
about, like, a
idea.
like
No wonder she pukes every year.
no, but it's like the character logic thing. You know what I mean? Where it's
Yeah.
like, their character logic is they establish as they're afraid of being found out because they're going to be hunted down. So you would think that they would just covertly try to find each person and then maybe watch them afterward. But they're just like straight up. That sequence with when they're trying to push them in the fountain, I was like, okay.
It
wow.
really made me laugh. I thought that was
It was
cute.
funny, but it didn't make sense with the characters. Like that's where the sacrifice, and like I said, but it's fine. But then I was overall like I did enjoy the charm of the film and the animation style and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it. We'll move on to Encanto. I don't want this to be a 30-minute
Okay.
thing. Yeah. So Encanto.
Was trash.
Oh, do you have a last minute thing about Luca?
Oh no, I just wanted to go first for Encanto.
Oh, okay. I thought you sounded like you're so excited. Like I have
Okay.
something about Luca, my favorite film.
So speaking of shut up, Bruno, we now move on to
Encanto.
We Don't Talk About Bruno.
No. Your favorite song, right? What's it called? This is the second film by Walt Disney Animation Studios this year, released in theaters. By the way,
No shit.
Luca wasn't. It was on Disney Plus.
Oh.
And poor Pixar animators, who their next film is also going to be on Disney Plus, Turning
Oh.
Red. And apparently they feel like they're the VOD team now or something. But whatever. But if you, I mean, they're getting paid a lot, so. Directed by Jared Bush and Byron Howard.
I animate for Pixar. Wah.
But I do understand where they're going for.
No,
it,
I
yeah,
totally get it
yeah.
though. That sucks. You should see the movies in the theater.
Hey, I mean, to like get to that point, they had to work so hard to get their animation skills up to Pixar level, and then to just be, treated like second class animators and like, oh yeah, direct to DVD. Like that sucks.
And it's,
Anyways.
No,
and it's
does,
crazy
yes.
that it's
But-
like Raya and Encanto. They're both like hardcore pandemic too. Raya
Yeah.
was in March of 2021,
Yeah.
but that was still released on theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's whatever. What's it called? So it's what's it called? It's by Walt Disney Animation Studios. It has music by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Who?
I know who.
It's not
And
like we
also-
did an entire episode about it.
And also by Jermaine Franco, who did Coco, Dope, and Vita,
Mhm.
which also had music from Lin-Manuel Miranda. And it's about a family in a house in
Mhm.
Madrigal. And we will give to Blake.
I find this movie really admirable because I think that a lot of kids' movies add a lot of like plot elements.
Mhm.
This one really, it's a very, very, very simple and personal
Yes.
story that's kind of, and they just throw on the magic thing on top of it to make it a little more appealing to kids. I feel like this sounds like it's a complaint, but it's a compliment. I like it. I
No,
like
sounds
that
like
it's
a compliment.
I like that it's just this. A lot of kids' movies, they add a whole lot of bullshit. And like, when you see like this movie, I don't know. I guess in my head, it was like, oh, and then they're going to have to journey out and she's going to discover her power as she's falling to her death and she has to learn to fly or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it really, at the end of the day, is just this simple little personal story. And there's a little bit of magic involved. And I think for that, I thought it was really admirable. It's really just a cool little movie. And I appreciate that. There's not a lot of that in kids' things. I thought the comedy was kept to a minimum too. It wasn't overtly comedic or anything. I mean, it has its moments, of course, but it's not laugh out loud. And yeah, I liked the spoilers. I like that she doesn't get a power at the end. I thought that was pretty cool and important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That was it. But overall, I liked it. I'm not a big fan of musicals, and I probably would have liked it more if it wasn't a musical. But what are you gonna do?
Interesting. What about you, Ron?
I also really liked it. I liked all these movies, if you haven't noticed. But
Some
yeah,
more than others.
Yes, of
He
course.
likes all of them, but Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
movie's a piece of
He's
shit.
like, I want to be different.
You're a
Yeah.
I don't
horrible
like this
person.
film.
Ron.
You
Oh
know,
yeah, I didn't fucking.
I don't
know
like
that
unique. I like Disney. I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Okay.
Go on. I'm
No,
bad.
I'll say what I really liked about Encanto was like, again, the overall theme and like what Blake was saying, where it doesn't do those like simple ideas where it's like, oh, here's the big villain person, and then now she gets her powers, and it's like it's about generational trauma and abuse, where it's kind of, or not necessarily abuse, but it's like the
trauma
idea.
for sure.
Yeah, it's like, and I think it's really encapsulated very well with the short that plays before Encanto, which is also on Disney Plus if you look for it. It's Far from the Tree, where it's like a beautiful animation where it's about a raccoon that is just trying to venture out into like a beach with his mother and for the first time, and he's excited, and the mom is like, "Don't stay right here because it's fucking dangerous," right? And it's all just visuals. There's no actual dialogue, and eventually like the mom just like scolds the shit out of the little raccoon, and their relationship is shattered. They're never quite the same. They lose that trust, and it's gone. And then you see him later with his child, and he brings him to the beach, and a similar story begins to play out. But rather than follow that same legacy of basically traumatizing your kids with good intentions behind them, even though it still like can shatter those relationships, he decides not to. And he decides to like kind of more explore why this is happening, or like the dangers, and explaining it to him. And I feel like Encanto does that very well with like the grandma, where you see her, she has good intentions. She wants her family to thrive. She wants them to be protected from the outside world that she knows firsthand can be extremely dangerous. But through that goodwill and intentions, she just ends up really just
Her
kind
fear
of
takes over.
yeah, her fear takes over, and she just traumatizes the shit out of her kids and puts all this pressure on them, and is like expectations and everything. And then she shits on poor the main girl, I forgot her name.
Mirabelle?
Mirabelle. Like, you know, it's like, you're not powers, you don't fucking matter. Sorry. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's sad. And
A little more nuanced than that.
yes. But like, I love that main storyline. And personally, I love the music. That was my favorite part of the film, besides the overall theme, of course.
Agreed.
But like, man, that music slap. Like,
Yes.
I've been listening to the soundtrack, like probably far too often. I think as most people have. Yeah, it's what's it called? We Don't Talk About Bruno and Surface Pressure are like the top 2 songs on YouTube Music right now, and have been for a while. Like, they've blown way the fuck up, and for good reason. Those
Yeah.
fantastic
Bruno
songs.
But
good.
in my opinion, those are the only 2 songs that I really enjoyed. I really thought that the rest of the music was kind of lackluster, and I don't think that this was Lin-Manuel's best scoring that he has done.
No, I agree. I think it was really solid, and I think there are other songs in there that
I
also
don't think
were
it was
really
solid.
good.
I think it's really
I
solid.
don't.
I think it's really solid.
Like
Yeah.
I was like, okay, they just fell flat for me for most of the songs. Literally, those are the 2 songs that I enjoyed. With We Don't Talk About Bruno being the one I enjoyed less, but it.
You like
I don't
Surface
know.
Pressure more? Or
Yeah, I like
oh,
Surface Pressure. I thought
Pressure.
that one was a good use of his hip hop style, but I think he went too much into the hip hop on a lot of other songs when they didn't call for that.
Can you give me a specific example?
I can't.
What?
Give us a specific example.
I don't have a list of his songs right here with me, but
Hold on,
Yeah.
I got him here, but
yeah.
It's fine.
There's a
Well,
lot of them.
yeah.
think that
But
is
I will
really
say
good.
I liked the way he weaved his elements through, and particularly where we talk about Bruno, where he it's like each character has their own kind of I don't know how to speak very well in musical terms, but I'm gonna say like melody that like accompanies them in their own kind of style that they sing in, and how basically they all kind of layer on each other and add to like the overall theme of the song, and then eventually with that grand finale where it's like they're all kind of singing over each other and adding their own elements, and it's like, oh, it's so beautiful, and it's very much in the stylings of Lin-Manuel, if you've ever listened to like Hamilton and shit. So I was like, fuck yeah, man. I was like, that shit was awesome. So yeah. But that song, I felt like it may have been just so good, it kind of overshadowed a lot of the other music. But I think overall, like the use of the Cuban musicians and stuff, like, was great. Like, I just loved it. I watched this movie with my parents, and they were just eating it up. They just they loved it too. So yeah.
I also like the opening song, the Madrigal.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
Madrigal
funny.
song. That's
Yeah,
very nice
When they
too.
did the intro with every person. and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What's it called? It's yeah. I mean, you said it beautifully. I have really nothing to add. I agree with Ron, and I agree with Blake, and I disagree with Miles.
Yeah. Hey,
Let's
I'm
go.
sorry I
It's-
didn't enjoy this movie.
That's cool. Hot Take City.
That's fine.
you
Oh,
know?
It's
what?
okay.
How dare you not like a
See,
movie?
no,
Fuck
no,
you.
Okay, so but I will say I liked the storyline and the plot of this movie. I thought that they were good and they were interesting and they worked. It was really just the music that I just didn't connect with for the most part.
That's fine. I'm kind of curious what music will connect with you, Miles.
It-
How's it going?
Hey, I really like Tick Tick Boom.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm just curious.
I mean, like, there's a lot of music that I enjoy. It's just like for this, and there's a lot of musicals that
Yeah.
I enjoy. It's just this one didn't really connect with me.
all right,
That's
sounds
fair.
good.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
How's it called? All right, so now that we get into this, before we get into Flea, before we get to Oscars and our own personal film rankings that Ron and I did after seeing these 5 films, we want to give Blake and Miles the opportunity to give their rankings for the films they watched, and also their personal their personal ratings for each one. Let's start off with Blake.
All right. At number 4, I have Raya. Now, I do want to say it is the least on the list, but I do think it's the most visually impressive. I thought it was beautiful, but I was the least engaged in it in terms of like just movie as a whole. I'm going to say streaming with ads. While talking about these, my rankings actually flipped, so that'll be interesting. So my number 3 is Luca, also streaming with ads. My number 2 is Encanto, for all the reasons I said previously. I really just like the approach of it. I wish more kids' movies were kind of like this and had smaller stories. Streaming with ads. And number 1, of course, Ron's least favorite movie of all time, Mitchell's vs. the Machines. Mostly for the sole reason that I just thought it was the most unique. It's just really
Nice.
fucking awesome. And that one is premium streaming for me.
Nice. Sounds good.
For me personally, I I kind of disagree. My number 4 is actually Encanto. Yeah, I would say that it was an okay movie. It wasn't great. Maybe I'm just a little bit too like Moana was one of my favorite animated films of all time, and that music was done by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I was hoping for more in that vein, and just none of the music really hit me as hard as the music from that film, and that might be why it's so low down on my list. But I would say that this one, I would give it a streaming with ads. And then next, I would probably put Luca in third position. And I would also give that streaming with ads. I did enjoy that movie. I thought it was a good movie, but it just it wasn't it wasn't the greatest. My number 2, Raya and the Last Dragon.
Okay.
I would say premium streaming for that one.
Wait,
Like I
did
said,
you give rating for Luca?
yeah. Oh yeah, it's streaming with ads. For
Streaming-
Luca.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say premium streaming for Raya and the Last Dragon. Like I said, I really enjoyed that movie. I had a good time watching it. I think that it's a fun movie to watch. It didn't feel like it dragged on too long. Some movies can have a tendency to do that. And it felt like it was just the right length. There was
That's
some
what
stuff
she said.
like we mentioned earlier with the comedy that I think was a little bit over the top, and some of the characters. But other than that, yeah, great movie, and I enjoyed the core plot.
Yeah.
And then number 1, Mitchell's versus the Machines, and
Nice.
I would put this in the museum.
Oh ho ho.
Yeah, animation style is just amazing. I love that mixed media feeling that you get out of it. And it really felt like they were able to push the creative barrier with this.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Solid, solid.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Miles. It was a great list.
Mm-hmm.
Now we will talk about Flea. Oh, bam, 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 and that's how the film feels. You know. It's
Oh
like a rock
yeah,
concert.
it's super
Yeah.
like fun and poppy and shit. No.
So Flea is an animated documentary directed by Jonas Per Rasmussen. This is an animated documentary about a Afghanistan immigrant who and his
Refugee, really.
yes, right, refugee who attempts to flee to Denmark, and it chronicles his journey from Afghanistan to Moscow to Denmark and his life afterwards, and current now in a flashback narrative of sorts. And it's an animated documentary, so it's kind of unique in its own nature.
Yeah.
Right? There's not many of these, especially I think it's the first one that will be nominated for best animated film, best documentary, and best foreign film. No other, none of this has never happened before.
Yeah, I mentioned that I don't think it should fall into this category, but to revise that, I feel like it definitely is. It's animated, but it feels less like a feature film and more it's like a documentary.
Yeah.
It should be in the documentary category.
Oh, it is.
I know, yeah, but like it doesn't belong. I don't think it technically is a feature because it's like not. I mean, it is a true story and there's like a thing to it, but it's a documentary first and foremost that uses animation to tell its story and uses it very well. And we'll get into that, but I'm like, does it like really fall into this category? I don't know, but
Because I think like for it not to be in the feature category, it's like if it shows like too much live action footage.
yeah.
But it doesn't. So I think that's why technically it fills in.
It-
And what's it called? It's what's it called? Yeah, it is a very unique film in this way. I've never seen anything quite like this. And this was about also like an anime documentary about this topic.
Yeah.
It's one of a kind, and I appreciate that a lot for that. And it is weird that we're talking about this film with the other 5,
Yeah.
or there's including Belle.
One of these things is not like the other.
But in a weird way, I appreciate that something like this exists.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the most powerful films I've seen this year, and just like in recent memory, honestly, it's deeply affecting. I'll say, like watching it, walking away, you come away with like if you went through something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish this film. I mean, what's it called? Like it was hard to watch it before, and then it was like, and it came around Burbank. I wish I watched this film before, 2021. I mean, a lot of these films I wish I watched before, but they're just like not readily available. Like we
Yeah.
went to like one showtime in
Yeah.
Burbank and stuff, because I think this would have made my top 10 list for sure.
Yeah, I would say it could be up there. I mean, again, it's hard to see one that just like that affected me so much. I was like, man, it's heartbreaking and just it's beautiful, but again, it's extremely unique, and that's great.
Yeah. Our main character, that's the topic of this documentary, is the main subject is Amin Nawabi, and
Which is a pseudonym.
yeah, and it's not as real because they're trying to hide his identity and for real life, but like a lot of the events are real, but just not his name, because he's a very shy person in real life apparently, and that's the only reason why he agreed to this documentary, because he's friends with a documentarian, because he said it's gonna be animated, my face and my face and my name will be obscured by this animation project.
Yeah.
And I think, what a wise choice. I mean, maybe in the future when they have subjects that are unwilling to be recorded and want anonymity, this might be the best way to go.
Yeah.
It's just it's a really powerful tale about like what his family had to do and go through after, the turmoil that his country faced in Afghanistan, and it all started out with disappearance of his dad, which by the way is heartbreaking at the end when they said we still don't know what happened to his dad.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, not to get into the real complicated web of political turmoil of Afghanistan in the 80s, or just ever, but like basically they're dealing. It's like the aftermath of the Soviet Afghan war, and a lot of men were being sometimes just coerced and just kidnapped to join the military force to fight against the Soviets, and then eventually against other Afghan tribes and stuff like this. It's very complicated, but the point is they took his father because they thought he could be an enemy to this new government that had taken over, because he was not, or they don't exactly say his political affiliations or what it was, but it ultimately doesn't matter. They take him and he disappears. Most likely he was killed. And yeah, and then eventually his family has to flee because the nation is really just falling apart as different I forget the name, the group that basically took over Afghanistan after the fall of the Soviet Union and stuff.
The name's blanking on me right now.
Yeah, I'm like I wish I'd wrote this down, but it's so it's incredibly powerful. Seeing them have to really put a human face on people who are trying to flee their country and are forced to just basically go out into the world and just find their way. And at this time, this conflict was so huge that I believe about 2/3 of the Afghanistan population had to leave the country, which is enormous. And I think in the 80s, like I forget the percentage, but it was like the vast majority of refugees in the entire world were from Afghanistan because of this conflict. So its effects echoed throughout the world, really. They went all over the place, to the U.S., to Europe, to Pakistan, heavily to Pakistan. And it's just like, and they're still affect us to this day. It's
It's what's it called? I was just trying to find the name of the group, and then I was like, oh, it's gonna take a long time or so. Like I had it in my notes too, but it is, and I did like the fact that it is wild political turmoil that happened to this country, but it's all told from his own personal perspective and skewed. So it's not giving us a detailed beat by beat account of the historical events that occurred.
Yeah,
because I think that would have been too convoluted, and you would have taken up the personal edge out of this.
Exactly,
and just from his perspective, and which was insane. And thank you for the historical context, for the viewers and stuff. And
it is important because this is like in the early 80s, late 80s, early 90s, and then he first goes to the Soviet Union, which is also in the midst of collapse.
Yes.
And it's just like out of the frying pan into the fire, where it's just like, oh god.
And then even from there, like I love seeing that, like it's basically the film could be broken up into three different locations, or four actually, if you want to do the flashback. But the main thing is like his time in his hometown in Afghanistan, then his time in Moscow, then his time in Denmark, right afterwards, or him trying to acclimate back into society, and his immigration journey in between. And for me, the most compelling parts were the actual immigration attempts.
Yeah. Oh man, the style that is used, the style of animation throughout this is so interesting. They use a mix of this like very impressionistic kind of animation where they very clearly state. The director said that he asked his friend to basically describe his memories as clearly as he could, the different everything that's going on in the room, what's happening, what people are wearing, what is this, and you kind of get those impressions of this space through his perspective as a child, and then later as he grows up in these terrible circumstances, and that carries over because when eventually they cut to documentary footage, like actual live action footage, it helps really ground the film to remind you like this shit is real. Like this is no longer this is like it can be easier to separate yourself through animation, but when you see it, the real footage, it becomes much more shocking and and levels like the again brings you back down to reality that like remember this did happen here and this was a real time and place and these were real people. And then later when he's going through the parts where he's trying to basically get smuggled into different areas or different countries and everything else. He's trying to reach his family, specifically his big brother, who is in Sweden. Or is it Switzerland?
No, it's
Sweden.
It's Sweden. Oh no, yeah, it's Sweden.
Yeah, I want to say
Sweden.
Sweden. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying to get to his brother, and it's one of the most compelling and just tragic moments in the film, and a lot of those like more traumatic moments, they become more abstract. And the animation kind of slips away and it becomes even more impressionistic. It's like shadows, hands, like silhouettes of people as they're running, and it's heavy, man.
And I think one of my speaking of those impressionistic moments, one of my favorite moments is when they try to go from Moscow to Sweden, and but what happens is it fails. The boat thing fails, and then they get sent back to Moscow, and they talk about their detainment in by the officials there before they deported back to Moscow.
Yeah.
And it shows and it feels like a memory because like the way it's animated, where it's like mostly black and white. It almost looks like paint strokes, but violent paint strokes, as like violent moving black and white paint strokes. And then the officers, they're depicted as like these demons, and their eyes are like, what's it called? The eyes are, wide. And
Speaking of demons, there's one in this room.
I know, we heard just like a random sound in the background, and the way that's animated is both terrifying and also the impressionistic and the simplistic nature of it, and how fluid and nothing is like a quite solid shape. Feels like how our memories are. Like it's not very lucid. It's very loose in that term. It's almost dreamlike, well, a nightmare. You know? And
close your eyes. Try to think of your most traumatic and terrible moments and memories in your life. It's going to be a mix of vivid and like impressionistic. Yeah, it's like, oh god.
And I also like, and I did like, you mentioned the real life footage and stuff like that, and then like smash cutting, not smash cutting, but like cutting between like the animated footage and the live action footage. Yeah. I think it was important to give that real life context, as you said, like a grounding in reality, and give it just it adds to the horror of it. Like I know like it's possible they could have done this just completely animated, but I think it would have taken away the effect. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is
and sometimes how they interweaved the documentary, the live action footage with the animation, where they would like show it and then it would turn into like animation or something.
Yes.
Again, it helps kind of like mix that stories together and it kind of abridges those two worlds.
Yeah. And to remind you that it is a documentary, and I think it needs to, like, what's it called? I'm not even joking. Like I had a friend who saw like the trailer. I was like, this looks like a cool animated film. I'm like, no, it's real life documentary. No, it's not. Like we had an argument about this. He's like, no, it's not. I was like, it is. It really is.
Yeah, this really happened, man.
Yeah.
It was fucked up.
No. I was like, yeah, it's like, no, I don't think this happened. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, all right then. Just don't Google, I guess, whatever.
Yeah. And what did you think about the main subject himself? At first I was kind of like, it's hard to say I was like, not say I was bored. Well, he's very soft spoken and quiet and everything. And then not saying it was lulling to me to sleep because I was always engaged. So I was like, okay. I was like, could they have used a more engaging subject? But I don't think that would have worked, because if it made him feel more authentic instead of having like a cartoonish character in the middle. And he sounds and feels like somebody who's actually going through PTSD of his immigration experiences.
Yes, yeah. I think they make a point. He states at the beginning of the film, and the director stated later, that he tried a few times to get his friend to tell his story to him, because they became friends for a very long time. And there's an important point in the story where when he's finally smuggled to Denmark, basically the smuggler tells him like, this is the story you have to tell people, and you cannot deviate from this story at all. Okay, he says if you do, then like you're fucked. So then that is just burned into his psyche, and for most of his adult life, he refused to tell what happened. He literally never told anyone this story before because he was scared of the repercussions of it, and it's incredibly hard to relive that trauma. Like if anyone's ever been through something like that, it's not something that you're really jumping at the chance to tell anybody, and especially because there's so many situations that he found himself in where it's not something you want to relive, basically.
Yeah.
So you do get that authenticity as he's like stating this. It starts off where basically he's just laying down on his back underneath the camera, and you can tell it looks kind of rotoscoped in a way where it's kind of like animated over the actual footage of him laying on his back, and he tells him to close his eyes, and he starts reliving this. And it again, it does feel very real. And I thought about that too, where I was like, maybe they should have gotten like a voice actor or somebody else to kind of give to add a little bit more energy to certain parts of the film, but like you would have really
Taking away
lost
the
a lot.
authenticity of it.
Yeah, like it wouldn't have felt like it felt like it felt more like a
person recounting his, like reluctantly recounting stuff.
Yeah,
that happened to
exactly.
him. Yeah.
You get that idea that like it's like he doesn't really want to talk about this, but he felt like also he made sure to say that he did feel like he had to talk about it at some point for his personal
Healing and stuff.
Yeah, healing, and also just for the fact that just people should know, the reality of this. And I think that's the most important thing, because I feel like we see refugees on the news all the time. It's just a blanket state of just like, here's refugees and here's what they're doing to us. And it's like, they're people and they each have their own stories, and they did not want to be refugees, man. Like that is the worst case scenario for like really anybody. And you really get the humanity behind this one particular story where it's very effective.
It is. It's like and there's like nothing in this film like I think you can change or you should change the impact. And I also like the fact that like even when like the rotoscope documentary of like modern time, or even some of the flashbacks, that they don't move super smoothly, right?
No.
They move kind of jittery, almost if to reflect like his kind of shattered his shattered reimagining of what happened.
Yeah.
Or like like it reflects his also internal reluctance to tell the story.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, again, like try piecing together an old memory from when you were a child, and then just like, I think it was like this, or maybe it was like that. I don't really quite remember, but there's always like certain details that stand out more. Like it starts off with like, we should also mention the fact that there's also one of the major parts of the story is the fact that he is homosexual.
Yes.
And growing up in Pakistan, he thought that was like something that was wrong, of course, and that he could like he had to change about himself, and he was so scared and reluctant to talk about it to his family. And it's like completely understandable, because that's kind of what you expect, and it's so from a deeply religious society and all kinds of stuff. And in the 80s, society was not nearly as accepting, but so you get like little flashes of that throughout, where he just like he's these feelings are bubbling inside him, something that he always knew. And one of my favorite moments is he's got a Jean-Claude Van Damme poster on his on his door from Bloodsport, and he's just like eyeballing him, and he's telling the director, he's like, I think we both like Jean-Claude Van Damme probably for different reasons though.
Yeah.
But it was one of like the few funny moments, because later they're like scrolling through the TV and they're like in Moscow and they're just fucking miserable, and then like Bloodsport comes on, he's like, wait, put that back on.
Exactly. You want to see that specifically, especially the masculinity of it. And they never make this as this as if it's such shameful. It's just his perspective on it.
Yeah, it's exactly like it's what he felt like his family was going to judge him for, and he felt like he was scared to open up to them. And it has one of the most beautiful and like just satisfying moments in the film, because
that payoff is excellent when when he finally reveals to his family and I did like the fact like true to his documentary roots, and I imagine this is what happened in real life too.
Yeah.
Usually a lot of narrative films, right, like try to dramatize this moment where they initially, what's it called? They play into the stereotypes of like these type of cultures rejected. They hate each other, and then they hate 30 minutes of screen time to get them back together.
Yeah.
And this one is kind of like, and I would think in a lot of families, it's pretty obvious who is gay and who's straight.
Yeah.
And then I like the fact that when he revealed it, and you think the entire time he's gonna take like once he reveals it to his oldest brother, you think he's gonna take him to a strip club.
Yeah.
But instead, it's to a gay club, and he gives him money. Says, "Have fun. I've always knew.
Yeah.
Thank you for revealing this to me."
It's like it made me want to fucking cry. I was like, dude, because again, this whole movie, he keeps dealing with setback and tragedy after tragedy. It's just everything just always goes wrong, and you're scared for him because you have those cultural stereotypes where you're scared that he's just gonna they're just gonna reject him or shit on him, or his brother's gonna be like, here, go to a strip club, yeah, fix it, whatever. But he doesn't. He's just like, no.
Because he's also a person that loves his brother.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love that.
He loves him, and they're like, yeah, we already knew, man. Here, go have fun. And it's like the first time he really seems to have fun.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Outside from when he was a child, but yeah, it's great, and you get to see that part of him because this film it's him coming out in many different ways.
Yes.
Right. It's him expressing the homosexuality and everything, and also the fact that
his PTSD, his trauma, his
Yes.
background history, his existence of a family
yeah,
who's
yeah.
scattered throughout Europe.
Because
Still.
he always told people, because it's what the smuggler told him to tell people, that his entire family was dead.
Yeah.
He was forced to do that, and he had to basically live in that reality for
Yes.
most of his adult life, which is like incredibly lonely and just like terrible. I can't imagine just having to pretend like your family's gone, even though you know that they're not, and you never really know what exactly happened to them. You just have to just guess. And no, but he eventually does reunite with his family and stuff, and he opens up about it, and it's nice. it's a very nice way to wrap things up, and it's beautiful to know that's real and it truly happened. Yeah.
All right. Any last minute thoughts before we want to get into our personal rankings and ratings and stuff?
No, I'm glad this movie came out. I'm really glad I got to see it. I think more people should, because I feel like it's more relevant today than really in like a long time.
Yeah.
People, it's just like, it's good to know the true human stories, and I love films. I love like just narratives and whatever, and TV shows, and they're great. But it's you can't forget that, you know, they are expressions of the human psyche and like human emotions and whatever. But it's also very important to relive and see these true human stories. These are real people dealing with real shit, and it's good to know that.
And some of the best art is us like reflecting on the human experience, and
Yes.
part of the human experience is actual
Yeah.
human experiences and lives that happen that people forget about.
Yeah.
And I know everybody loves seeing the 10th Marvel film. I also love seeing the 35th Marvel film coming out in theaters. Also, having something like this is great. In a weird way, I think I kind of wish this film also came out on. I mean, I love seeing it in theaters.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, this would have had a wide theatrical release.
Yes.
But I almost think that this film might have had more impact if it was in streaming, like something on Netflix, and it was
Yeah.
wide release, and a lot more people have seen it. And
Yeah, I think it would have definitely picked up some more word of mouth and everything too, because it is it's a wild ride, and it's a very captivating story.
and as much as I love this film, I'll be honest, I don't think like you try to pitch this to the average Joe.
No.
It's like what's it called? Tragic animated documentary about an Afghanistan immigrant, a refugee immigrating to Denmark. Oh, I'll give you this $20. Let's go. Okay, so let's get into our rankings and ratings real quick. I mean, we gave our opinions, so it'll be quick and dirty.
Okay.
For me, number 5 is Luca. Streaming with ads. Number 4 is Raya with Raya and the Last Dragons, premium streaming. Number 3 is Encanto, premium streaming. Number 2, The Mitchells versus the Machines, in the museum. And number 1 is Flea, in the museum. For the reason why I give Flea in the museum, because it's just there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
There isn't. And part of my guidelines for Flea is that if it sets a benchmark for the genre, animated documentary, it's pretty new. What about you, Ron?
Okay, so for number 4, I have a
Number
tie. I have a
Oh,
tie.
is it a tie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So sorry, it's Mitchell's of the Machines and Encanto. I enjoyed. To be clear, I enjoyed all of these films. Okay, but those are the two that I really did like. I enjoyed. They were actually the ones that are the different and like stories and stuff. And there's a lot of reasons why I like them. But yeah, I put them both on premium streaming. Then for number 3, I've got like a few of these like shifted around as we've like continued to talk about them and reflect and everything. But I'll put I'll put Luca number 3. I enjoyed it so much. I had a great time watching it. It was super fun. But yeah, and I'll put that one on the shelf.
Oh, okay.
Number 2, Raya the Last. Fuck, man. It's why I was saying, like, I don't feel like Flea belongs here because it's like it's just
cheating.
not really like it's fucking cheating, man.
Yeah.
But like it's like
It's fine. Just say it.
it's
number
it's
two.
yeah, I could say yeah, Raya and the Last Dragon because it's the number 2. I really liked it. It's one that I feel like I'm gonna rewatch the most out of all these. Like I had just, it was so cool. And then
I
number
agree. I love Raya and the Last Dragon.
yeah, and for that one, I'm also putting on the shelf. And then Flea in the Museum, number 1. It's really nothing like it out there. I think there have been other anime documentaries. I might be wrong.
But this subject and
yeah,
and
but
it's
like
also a foreign film too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's very unique. It's extremely powerful and touching, and yeah, it's just a fantastic documentary. Yeah, so yeah, there it is.
All right, so now let's go into our Oscars 2022 Best Animated Pictures or Feature speculations. So I mean, we have the Gold Derby having up. So it's a mix of what we see on the stats and also our personal feelings and like what the mood is around each film and stuff like that, right?
Miles, you want to get in on this or no?
Yeah, sure. I'll hop back in on this.
Yeah. Remember, you got to use stats and also personal, like, you know. Yeah. personal.
I can't just use gut feeling.
Yeah. You gotta use your gut feeling.
Yeah.
All right, so I mean the top 6 on Gold Derby right now is number 1 is Luca, number 2 is Encanto, number 3 is Mitchell's vs. the Machine, number 4 is Flea, number 5 is Raya and the Last Dragon, number 6 is Belle. So, you know, let's give our top 5. Let's starting with number 5 on who we think it's in terms of like what we'll get in, not about what's the best one.
Yeah.
Just like the chances of it getting in. What are locks? For me, my number 5, it's pretty similar to Gold Derby is actually no, not really. It's because just based on previous Oscar Best Animated Features, they usually like to have one Japanese animated film representation. So my
Yeah.
number 5 is Belle.
Same.
Yeah, I'm agreeing
I
with
would
that
agree
too.
on that. Yeah.
As much as I Raya was like my number 1, like, you know, real animated feature.
Yeah.
I don't think it was super fun, but I know it's not like as original, which is like ironic because Luca's up there. But like, but yeah, I think Belle
And
for
also,
a lot of different.
it came out
senses.
in March, so it's just like probably the steam has died off. By then.
Yeah. It's like I feel like exactly. Like less people are talking about it. It's not as relevant. Belle just came out, and it feels like it's gonna really pick up some steam. And yes, and I do think they want to diversify it. So, and that's not to downplay Belle at all. To be fair, I'm just it's just trends and shit. So I'll say Belle probably. Yeah, squeeze in there.
For my number 4, it's interesting. I know on Gold Derby list, what's it called? They put Flea as number 4. I think in terms of and this is my favorite one, honestly, and I love this film. And I think it's gonna be guaranteed nominated. But in terms of chances of it winning and also like how lock of it is in terms of nomination, I think Mitchell's vs. the Machine is number 4.
Really?
Yeah, as much as I really like it, because one, as much like this happened before the Lego Movie was expected to win. It was a bookie favorite to win, and guess what happened? It got snubbed. It got snubbed.
See,
And it's not about my personal feelings.
Yeah.
If my personal feelings, Mitchell's number 1. You know what I mean? I'm also
Yeah.
thinking about like previous on like what races happened.
Well, I guess let's talk about real quick which I think the best way to start this is out of the top 6, which movie do you think is going to get snubbed?
I think out of the top 6, I think Raya and the Last Dragon. Yeah.
Raya and the Last Dragon?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the second place is Mitchell's vs. the Machines.
I think Encanto is like really hot right now.
I think that
So hot
Encanto is
right
going to
now.
get snubbed, honestly.
No.
I think that this
Are you crazy?
I think-
Encanto might even win.
No, I think it's polling higher on here than it really is. I think
Where
that's
are you?
off.
Where are you getting this from?
I don't know. Everybody I've talked to about Encanto, other than you,
Miles,
guys.
we're talking about voters. We're not talking about people that we know. We're talking about
and just from watching the movie, it wasn't that great. I'm just saying. I think that it's higher rated on here. I don't think that it's gonna make the cut.
I think Raya will drop off because it's not hot right now. Encanto is like it's still really booming in terms of like popularity just on the music, which I know you weren't that big of a fan of, but like
It's-
other people
yes,
have
other
really
people.
liked the music.
It's in the
Does it-
conversation longer. It's
Does it
been nominated for-
deserve it?
Yeah.
That's questionable, but yeah.
Okay, well, when it gets snubbed, I'm gonna be like, haha, I
What
was
if it
right,
wins?
you
What
fuckers.
are you gonna do?
Yeah,
what are you gonna do when it wins?
Well, it's
I
a-
really hope it doesn't win. Okay.
No, what do you
Okay.
think? What are you gonna do when it wins?
I don't trust the Academy of Motion Pictures anyways, so I'll be like, yeah, they did
Okay,
it again. Yeah.
Remember, this is not just personal feeling. We got to use
Yeah.
stats. What happened before
No,
the Annie? This is the Critics' Choice. Like I said.
Like you
Well-
said, Lego Movie got snubbed and it was rated #1 to win. I think that this one, I really think,
No, but the thing is, the Lego Movie is not Disney.
yeah,
Yeah, the Lego Movie is not Disney. It's a Warner Brothers Pictures animation. Disney, in almost any year, there's always at least one Disney film representation, usually two,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
from
one has
Disney
3
and Pixar. Yeah.
Mhm.
technically.
So that's why I feel like Raya and the Last Dragon will eventually, just from split votes, will get bumped out by Belle.
I still am gonna say Encanto is gonna be the one that gets bumped.
Are you just saying this because you don't like the film, or just like
No, I
actual?
don't. I'm
where,
honest-
Miles,
honestly
part of this is
saying-
like, where is this coming
No,
from?
it's not just because I don't like the film. It's honestly, I think technically it's not as good as the film as the other films, and it's not as interesting.
Okay,
yes, it's going to do
Miles,
better
okay,
with
that's-
kids.
That's
but-
fine. Okay, so
okay, whatever.
let's just So
Yeah.
my number 4 is Mitchell's vs. Machines. What's your number 4?
Well, yeah, I think it's honestly, I know we just like we're yelling at Miles, but I think Encanto. I think Encanto will
Really?
slip down. Yeah, I think it's gonna slip. I don't think it's gonna get bumped off, and I don't think it will win. But I will say I think it might slide down the list and probably end up as 4 or so. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So my number 3 is Flea. Because as we talked about it, it's been picking up steam. It's
Yeah.
if once what's it called? Because it has the potential for 3 different nominations, and probably will get all 3: best documentary, best animated, and best foreign film. So that will help propel the film. And this film has been doing well in the screener market. Like, the screener's been out for a long time. A lot of people have seen it in the voting community, and it's been resonating with a lot of them, both on the critical sense and the and for the mass voters. So I think Flea's there. It has 0% chance of winning, like 0.
No, yeah, it's not gonna win.
But I think it's 100%. I think not 100%. I think it's like a 70% lock to get nominated. What about you? What's your number 3?
I'll put Luca. I think again, Luca's gonna slip down too. I don't know, man. I feel like I think it might be leading here, but I feel like Luca's gonna slip because I just don't get why the fuck it's so high. Like I understand it's a Pixar film. It's the Pixar film on this list, but it's like I feel like
Because
critic ratings.
statistically, Pixar films, when they're on there, they have like an 85% chance of winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
rarely
So
lose.
I would say it's like 3 or 2. Okay, so like it'll be like the runner up, and then like Mitchell's is gonna. I feel like it'll do better.
All right, what about you?
Yeah.
What's your number 3?
Okay, well, I didn't say my number 4 yet, but
Oh,
my-
what's your number
my
4 and
number
3?
4 is Raya and the Last Dragon.
Wait,
Uh,
so what's your number 5 is Belle, right? So
yeah,
number 4 is Raya.
Yeah, Raya.
What number 3?
My number 3 is Mitchell's vs. Machines.
Okay, so you feel like that's where it is.
Yeah, I really like that movie, but I can't say that. I don't think that it's gonna win necessarily.
Yeah.
I think there's a 2-horse race, and it's gonna be. I guess we'll get to it.
All right, so let's just give our number 2s and 1s. My number 2, my number 2 is Luca. What's it called? As much as what's it called? I think as much as this film picked up a lot of steam, I think we'll see when it comes to the Annie Awards and when it comes to the other Critic Choice Awards and what film they give, and that'll probably change my rankings. But this film, a lot of people enjoy it, a lot of people like it, but Encanto, I think, is just picking up steam and just bulldozing through a lot of things. I think it might have won best animated feature in the Golden Globes. And that's why my number 1 is Encanto, where I think it's the most recent one. It's in the conversation longer. It's on Disney Plus. They're both on Disney Plus, but it's the more recent one, so more voters are able to see it more often. And just like the idea of just recent mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's the unfortunate part where it's just like the most recent film it's have a higher chance of have memory retention.
That's why they usually release all the Oscar bait films like late in the year.
Yeah, so it's just like a sludge for people to get through. We're like, fuck.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
thanks. Now I got to watch 9 fucking films. Rather, it's like, Pig's not going to get any shit, but whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
I think with kind of the adoption of streaming and a lot more people streaming instead of going to the movie theaters, you do have movies such as like, Luca, Raya and the Last Dragon, Mitchell's and the Machines, Mitchell's versus the Machines, that are going to do well and might even do better because it's a streaming ecosystem where people are watching this on,
Yeah.
because it's as easy to go watch Encanto streaming as it is to go watch Luca or Raya streaming. You just have to have Disney Plus, and it's easier to see Mitchell's and the Machines.
I wish Mitchell's vs. the Machines wins, but I'll say this for Mitchell's and Machines. The Oscars love Netflix because compared to, if you guys ever seen the Screener streaming platform, it's horrible.
Didn't they get like in trouble for like basically bribing people or some shit? Was that
That's the Golden Globes.
Oh yeah, Golden
the
Globes.
Golden
Well, I
Globes.
mean, but I'm still saying Netflix did that.
Oh,
Right?
Netflix bribed, like Emily in Paris.
But the Golden Globes people.
yeah,
that's what I'm
Golden
saying.
Globes,
Yeah,
you can't
like
bribe Oscars. Yeah. Because Oscars is like 8,000.
There's too many
voters.
people.
Yeah.
It's hard to grab 'em all.
Yeah, the HFPAs are like 50, 80 members. It's very easy.
Half of them are over the age of 70.
Yeah.
Well, Apple just gives them all iPhones and it's like, oh, nominate Coda.
Yeah, how's it go? So it's like the Mitchells vs. Machines. Like I say, Netflix is like they like things on Netflix. Like before, it used to have a big trend, but now you see Power of the Dog is probably gonna win the Best Picture, and that's a Netflix film.
Snoop Dogg's favorite film.
Yeah, I know, and it's just so it's easier for them to get through it. So I know it's probably gonna nominate. I don't know if it'll win because there's, like I said, people forget that there's a big older demographic in the Oscars, and older people. Let's just say, I mean, they got a lot of new younger voters. I don't think this will gel with them that well. The Lego Movie didn't. The Lego Movie was completely snubbed. It got Best Original Song nomination. It won
Terrible.
every other animation award except it got completely snubbed for the Oscars.
Yeah, I'm saying my top 1 and 2, Mitchell's and the Machines, and then Encanto, probably at number 1.
Oh wait, you
I-
you
yeah,
switch it? Okay,
yeah,
so,
I'm switching it up.
so give your 1 through 5.
Okay, I'll put Encanto number 1, Mitchell's and the Machines, Luca, Flea, and then Belle.
What about you, Monster? 1 through 5.
Okay, so I think Luca and Flea, those are my 1 and 2, and I think that it's a 2-horse race between those two. I think that Flea might actually dark horse it, just
Interesting.
based on what
Did-
it is, and then trying to escape the idea of animation being, the Disney
Yeah,
Pixar
yeah.
thing.
You know what?
It could get pushed there. I really think that it does have a chance in that sense. And then or did you want to say something about that?
No.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think if there's gonna be a surprise win, it's probably Flea.
Yeah,
I'll say.
over the. I think
Yeah.
Mitchell's like Sony already got one with Spider-Verse. They usually do that thing where like we'll give this animation studio
Yeah.
like a cherry bone.
Even though Spider-Verse so fucking deserved it though, it's so
Yeah,
good.
it
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then number 3, Mitchell's versus the Machines. Number 4, Raya and the Last Dragon, and number 5, Belle.
I see. Wait. Can you do the 1 through 5 again?
Yep. So Luca,
Okay.
Flea,
Flea.
Mitchell's versus the Machines,
Okay.
Raya and the Last Dragon, Belle.
You really think Encanto?
I'm snubbing Encanto. I am
You-
snubbing Encanto. When it happens, you're gonna owe me
Wow.
a chicken dinner, okay?
I'll say I feel like there should be some stakes
that
to
will
this.
be
Yeah.
there
Okay.
will-
You know what?
Some
I'll do
literal
this.
stakes.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll buy you chicken dinner. I'll buy you
Okay.
Clyde's hot chicken.
Whoever.
I'll buy you
Okay, so if Encanto gets snubbed, then Philip will buy Miles a chicken dinner, and if it doesn't, then Miles will
So
buy
buy-
Philip a
yeah.
chicken
Whoa,
dinner.
whoa. So, see, like, no, this is like a hard 21 right here, or
What?
like blackjack terms. I don't know blackjack terms, but like literally right
You think
here.
it's a lock? You're saying
No, it's not a lock.
Oh, okay.
Like, this is a long shot. I think it's gonna happen, but I'm just saying statistically, it's probably not.
Okay, so are we willing to put?
Miles is just like he's so biased in his opinion. He
Wait,
can't see, he
hold
can't
on.
see statistics.
Hold on.
Wait, no,
This guy's
no,
is terrible
okay,
to do
hey,
stats with
wait,
him.
okay, so no, but we're looking at it. We got this top 6 right here. I'm just saying, I got a 1 in 6 chance to win.
No,
right?
let's-
And then Philip gives me a chicken dinner, but I got a 5 and 6 chance to lose if any of those other films get snubbed instead. I'm just saying that's not a good bet right there.
That's
Hey,
okay.
so
but
there needs to be stakes.
that's
the
the
bet.
point.
That's the point.
You're
That's
the
the
one.
point.
You're saying that you don't think it's gonna make it. So put
Yeah.
chicken where your mouth is. I don't know.
Exactly.
Like,
It's a bad bet. Do you wanna make
which
the
one?
bet?
Which one did you think was going to get snubbed?
Which one do I think is gonna get snubbed?
Yeah.
I don't think. What's I think
he said Raya. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if Raya gets snubbed, I'll buy you a chicken dinner. If Encanto gets snubbed, you buy me a chicken
So
dinner.
what's
Okay.
if what's it called if neither gets snubbed.
Then neither of us buys each other a
No,
chicken
no,
dinner.
I rather
That's
have
good.
it. I rather
Yeah.
have it where let's do this. Encanto
Hey,
Yeah.
is Encanto. If Encanto gets snubbed,
Yeah.
What's it called? I'll buy you a chicken dinner.
Yeah.
If what's it called? If Encanto gets in, how about this? You just buy me In-N-Out burger, so the stakes
Okay.
are lower.
I'll buy you an In-N-Out burger.
Okay. Okay. Fine. All right. My 1 through 5 again.
our Oscar special is gonna be. There's gonna be all just food everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 1 is Encanto. Number 2 is Luca. Number 3 is Flea. Number 4 is Mitchell's, and number 5 is Belle. Yeah, I think Raya and the Last Dragon. As much as I really like it, I don't know. It might. I mean, really, we'll see what Belle. If it misses out on nominations and wins for the next couple months, then
I would-
probably not. But we'll see.
I would not be surprised. My dark horse is Sing 2. I feel like that could sneak in there and like bump out Raya and Belle. Like I feel like that's one of those movies where it's like
Ooh.
it's popular enough. The visuals seem pretty good, honestly. And also it has like some serious star power behind it. So it's like I could see it going up. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it's like
Yeah. No. That's Well,
I don't think it deserves
has-
it, but
it
I'm
has an
saying
offshoot chance.
Yeah.
Pretty much not gonna happen.
Yeah,
but
no,
yes.
like literally everybody would have been taken over by fucking robots at that point for that to happen.
Yeah. So okay, that is our Oscar special.
How about this? If Sing 2 gets, no, I'm just kidding. I'm like,
If
Yeah.
Sing 2
I will
gets,
buy you guys both In-N-Out. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Sing 2 gets nominated, I will buy In-N-Out for everybody.
So now let's do
Yeah.
a half a clue top 5. Not
Okay.
top 5, like half a clue. Like, so we all have our personal 5s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A half a clue 5 of these 5 are gonna get nominated. Not win.
Okay.
It's not in any order.
Just that they will be nominated.
nominated.
Okay.
I think for sure. I think Miles is crazy. I think this is just, as long as 2 people vote, then it's the majority. I think
Sorry,
okay.
Miles.
Wait,
sorry.
okay, so basically it's everything except for Raya.
Okay,
'Cause
no,
you
no.
two
Who
snubbed
knows?
Raya.
Who knows? We could do it right now. I'll say this.
I
Um,
loved Raya.
I love, it's not even. I'm trying to separate emotions from facts. What's it
Okay,
called? Which
fine.
you have a hard time doing. I'll say this. Number 5 is number 5 Encanto. There's no particular order.
Yeah.
Encanto.
Mhm.
I vote yes. You?
Yeah, I say Encanto was gonna get
No.
there.
Okay. So overruled.
So that has 2 points right there. That has 2 points for
Yeah,
the half a clue thing. See?
Yeah.
That's how it works. because
Okay, yeah,
it's
there it
only
is.
2
All right, 2 points
Okay.
to
Yeah.
Encanto.
Because
2 point fine. Encanto. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Let's just say Raya and the Last Dragon. Do we think we'll get in? I say no.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna say no. Sorry,
I'm
Raya.
gonna see yes. So it has 1 point.
All right. And Belle, I think that's gonna be the
Yes.
Japanese anime. I say yes.
Yeah,
And
I'm
it's a
also
very
also
reluctant
saying
yes.
Belle.
Yeah.
It's like the hardest one. Raya and Belle is like a switch up. between
Yeah,
the two.
really, those 2, and then I'm just tossing Sing in there.
Yeah.
Who
All right,
knows?
So is Belle. Bell's 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
No,
No, 3 out of
3.
3. 3 out of 3.
Oh, 3.
Yeah. Which is funny that Encanto is 2 out of 3. Which people even say it's just gonna win.
Honestly, I think that would fuck. I hope it doesn't win. I liked Encanto, but like it's not the fucking best one.
Would you be sad if Mitchell's won?
No,
You
I
would actually
wouldn't.
think we'd be okay.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I personally didn't like it as much as I liked some of the other ones,
but you can see why.
but I could definitely see why it
But
would
you
win.
Respect it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
respect it. Yeah, definitely. yeah.
So Flea. Yes. I think yes for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, definitely. It's like Oscar bait is usually a term that just kind of gets lumped into movies that are like very dramatic and stuff like this. But like this one fucking deserves it, and it's like it's not just it's like it's perfect. It's gonna they can't help resist but bite. I think it's definitely gonna get nominated.
Okay. And what's it called? We already said Raya. Mitchell's vs. Machine. I think yes. Yes.
Mitchell's, yeah,
Yeah. Another 3 out of 3.
Mitch.
Luca. Yes.
Yes.
It's funny that you're like yes to Luca, but like, whatever. All right,
Okay.
Sing 2.
No.
No.
Yes.
Okay, so it looks like with 1 point, Raya and Sing are both out of the running.
Get
So-
the fuck out of here.
So
With
Ryan.
2
our-
points, Encanto is at number 5. And with 3 points,
Oh,
Belle, Flea, Mitchell, and Luca.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
In no particular order, these are our 5. That we
Yeah,
think
these
will
are
be
5.
nominated.
Yeah.
Encanto, Belle,
Belle,
Flea, Mitchell vs. Machines, and Luca.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
there it
How's
is.
that? Even though Miles is, I don't know, like Miles can't separate. This is Oscars. I might have to like
Hey.
Miles. You're gonna have to.
Hey, but if I'm right, you need to like apologize with that chicken dinner too.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'll apologize.
Candlelit everything.
Yeah. Miles, in future episodes, try to separate emotions from facts.
I'm not separating emotions from facts. I genuinely think it's going to be snubbed, not just because of emotional reasons.
Well, look at the facts. It's
Whatever. We're done. All right,
All right,
guys. Thanks
Thank
for
you for another
listening.
episode.
This is our long ass best animated feature go Oscar episode. Really though, it was just like it was such a Sophie's choice of all these films. They're fantastic, really across the board. I had a great time
One of the
watching.
better years for animation.
Yeah, very solid year. Yeah, so let us know what you guys think. What was your favorite animated film this year? Was it even on this list? Do you have another one? Because I'm sure that there's plenty more that we missed. So please let us know. And what's your favorite song from Encanto?
Yeah, I know people are gonna be like, "Where's a Demon Slayer?" I'm like, "You guys, that's
Dude.
2020. That's 2020."
That was 2020. That was a great one. That was a
Yeah.
great one. I had some issues, but overall, fantastic.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
Fucking kick ass.
Bye.
Bye.